September 1974, deep in the Siskiyou Mountains of southern Oregon, searchers step into a quiet campground near Carberry Creek. At first glance, nothing looks wrong. A pickup truck is parked exactly where it should be. A blanket lies folded in the bed. Clothes are neatly stacked. A wallet sits untouched. A wristwatch remains on the table. And there, in the open mountain air, a carton of milk still sitting out. No one leaves milk behind, not by accident. Not on a family camping trip. And yet, the family who brought it there, Richard, Belinda, 5-year-old David, and 5-month-old Melissa, are nowhere to be found. No blood, no signs of struggle, no footprints leading away, no note, no goodbye, just silence. And a campsite that looks as if its occupants simply evaporated. What happened to the Cowden family would become one of the most haunting, unsolved murder cases in the history of the Pacific Northwest. Because 7 months later, investigators would discover something far worse than a disappearance. They would discover a massacre. I'm your host, Justin Droke, and you're listening to Twisted Mysteries. As always, viewer and listener discretion is advised. Before they became a cold case, they were just a family. Richard Cowden was 28 years old, a logging truck driver. Strong, reliable, a working man. His wife, Belinda, was 22. Young, bright, and by all accounts devoted to her children. Together, they were raising 2 kids, David James Phillips, Belinda's 5-year-old son from a previous marriage. He was described as energetic and curious, and Melissa Dawn Cowden, their infant daughter, just 5 months old. A baby, still learning to sit up, still dependent on her mother for everything. They lived in White City, a small town near Medford, Oregon. And like many families in Southern Oregon, they loved the outdoors. Camping wasn't unusual. It was normal. It was safe. At least it was supposed to be. On August 30th, a Friday in 1974, it was Labor Day weekend. The Cowdens pack their truck and head into the mountains. Their destination, Carberry Creek, a remote area near the tiny abandoned mining town of Copper. It's beautiful there. Towering fir trees, cold mountain streams, no traffic, no city noise, just wilderness. Exactly the kind of place families go to get away. They set up camp, their pickup parked nearby. Tent established, food unpacked. Their dog, a basset hound named Droopy, was with them. Nothing about this trip appears unusual. Nothing suggests danger. But somewhere in those woods, someone is already watching. On Sunday, September 1st, this is believed to be the final day the Cowdens are alive. At some point, Richard and David reportedly go to a nearby store. They buy milk, a normal errand, a tiny detail, one that becomes infamous in this story, because it helps establish something chilling. Whatever happened, happened fast. There was no time to clean up, no time to leave, no time to even put the milk away. That night, they vanished. By Monday, Labor Day, the family had failed to return home. Loved ones became worried. Belinda's mom, Ruth, sounded the alarm, and they drive to the campsite. Immediately, they know something is wrong. The truck is still there. Their clothing is still there. The wallet, the watch, a pack of cigarettes, food, the milk. All untouched. But no family No Richard, no Belinda, no children, no baby. It is as if the forest just swallowed them whole. The next morning, the family dog appears, Droopy, the basset hound. He's alive. He scratches at the door of the Copper General Store. Alone. No owner, no family. Just the dog, waiting. It's one of those heartbreaking images in this story, a loyal animal still expecting his people to return, but they never do. Authorities launched one of the largest searches in Oregon history. Oregon State Police, county deputies, Forest Service, volunteers, Boy Scouts even, the National Guard. Helicopters circle overhead. Tracking dogs comb the woods. Search teams sweep miles of terrain. They search creeks, mine shafts, roads, caves, ravines, nothing. No bodies, no weapon, no evidence, no answers. Days become weeks, weeks become months, then winter comes, still nothing. It begins to feel impossible. How does a family of four just disappear without a trace? 7 months later, on April 12th, 1975, two prospectors are hiking in steep terrain 7 miles from the campsite. What they find changes everything. A body. An adult male decomposed, tied upright to a tree. It is Richard Cowden. Nearby, inside a cave, they find the three others: Belinda, her son David, and her baby daughter Melissa. All dead. The family hadn't disappeared. They had been murdered. The details are horrifying. Autopsy results reveal that Belinda was shot with a .22 caliber weapon. David, also shot. 5 years old. Baby Melissa, killed by blunt force trauma. An infant. And Richard's death is pretty disturbing. His body had been tied to a tree, but decomposition was too advanced to determine exactly how he died, which leaves investigators with a terrifying possibility. Was he left there alive, forced to suffer, forced to listen? No one knows, and maybe no one ever will. Then investigators hear something unsettling. A volunteer searcher says, "I checked the cave in September. They weren't there." If true, that means the bodies were moved months later, which means the killer came back, returned to the scene, and handled the bodies again. That changes the psychology of the crime completely. This wasn't panic, this was control. Eventually, investigators focus on one man, Dwayne Lee Little, a violent offender, a known predator in the area. He was later convicted of murder. Witnesses may have placed him nearby. He allegedly confessed to another inmate, and many investigators privately believed he did it. But there's no proof. There was no murder weapon, no forensic evidence, no DNA, no direct witness. He was never charged for these murders, and he died without answering the question. Did he murder the Cowdens, or did the real killer walk free? Today, the Cowden family murders remain unsolved. There's been no arrest, no conviction, just a campsite in the Oregon wilderness, a milk carton on a table, and a dog waiting at the door for a family that would never come back. Somewhere near Carberry Creek, the trees still stand, the creek still runs, and campers still visit. Most have no idea what happened there. Forest remembers, and maybe it always will. But after 50 years, the question remains, what actually happened to the Cowden family? Whoever did this left behind almost no evidence. No confession, no murder weapon, no arrest, only theories. And some of them are deeply disturbing. Let's examine some of the most compelling theories that I found. Theory 1, Dwayne Lee Little. For decades, investigators have looked closely at this one man. a violent offender, a known predator, a man later convicted of murder. Some investigators believe he was in Southern Oregon that weekend. An inmate later claimed Little confessed, and many believe this is the most likely answer. But there is one problem. There's never been any evidence that has tied him directly to the scene of the crime. There's no DNA, there's no weapon, no witness, there's just only suspicion. Some believe that this ordeal began as a sexual assault. Belinda Cowden may have been alone. A predator sees an opportunity. Richard interrupts, and suddenly there are witnesses, and now the offender must silence everyone. That explains the family annihilation, but not the body placement. There was more than one killer, is another theory that I've come across. So one offender abducting, there's 2 adults, 5-year-old, an infant, and a dog. Without struggle, that feels really difficult for one person. It's possible, but it's difficult. 2 offenders, that makes more sense. It would explain the clean campsite, the transport, and the organized disposal of the bodies. The bodies were found miles away, deep in rugged mountain terrain, not somewhere chosen by accident. Whoever did this likely knew those woods intimately. A hunter, a logger, a miner, a local. Someone comfortable enough to disappear in the Siskiyous. There is one theory that may be the most chilling of all the possibilities. There was a volunteer that later claimed he searched that cave, as I had mentioned before, and the bodies weren't there. If that's true, the killer came back, returned to the scene, handled the victims again, and that suggests confidence, possession, and even obsession. And then there's Richard, found tied to a tree, separated from his family. Cause of death is undetermined. He was forced to watch, maybe? Was he left there alive? Was his suffering intentional? We don't know. And that may be the cruelest part of the case. So what do you think? I tend to believe that this began as an opportunistic attack. A predator sees Belinda, Richard intervenes, and the situation escalates. The entire family is taken. And because the killer knew those mountains, he believed he could hide them forever. For 7 months, he almost did. Now, this case is still currently unsolved. It's an open, cold case. If you have any information related to the Cowden family murders, please contact the Oregon State Police or local Jackson, Josephine County investigators. Because 50 years later, someone still knows what happened in those woods. That's going to do it for today's story. Please like, follow, and share anywhere you get this podcast. I really appreciate all of your support and for listening. You can also access video links and images that are related to this episode by visiting my Instagram at twisted.mysteries. Also, find me on YouTube. My YouTube handle is Twisted Mysteries 26. Sources for today's case include Wikipedia, Reddit, TNW, Murder in Oregon, Notorious Crime Sites by Marcus Vicker on Apple Books, Idaho Statesman, PodMe, Uncovered.com, and Casa del Libro Library.com, Grunge.com, Newsweek.com, and FGHSnews.com. Some of the images were recovered from OregonEncyclopedia.org, Mapstore.mytopo.com, OregonForestsForever.com, AskirtintheDirt.com, SiskiyouMountainClub.org, MorbidCuriosity.com, StrangeOutdoors.com, PinecliffResort.net, MRU.inc, Applegate Connect. Again, thank you all for listening. And until next time, stay twisted.